Good morning. My name is Tasha Boerner Horvath, and I'm honored to serve as your state assembly member for Encinitas, Carlsbad, Oceanside Vista, and Camp Pendleton. I want to welcome you to our Senior Scam Stopper Seminar. Today, you'll learn valuable tips from the presenters on how to protect yourself and your family members from COVID-19 related scams, vaccine scams, stimulus payment scams, phone scams, and so much more. My office has hosted two of these seminars in the past in partnership with the California State Contracting License Board. This is our first virtual seminar, and I'm so excited that you chose to attend. You'll leave today better prepared to protect yourself and your family from financial fraud. Now more than ever, financial fraud and scams, specifically targeting seniors, is a growing problem. Seniors are the most targeted and vulnerable population, with 1 in 5 Americans over the age of 65 having been reported as a victim of fraud, with the number growing. As your representative in Sacramento, I'm constantly looking for ways to better protect and promote the interests of senior citizens as part of my role in serving on the State Assembly Aging and Long-Term Care Committee. Today, you'll hear from Kevin Durawa at the Contractor State Licensing Board, who will discuss how to avoid construction-related scams and how to protect yourself when hiring a contractor. Then Jackie Wiley of the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation will talk about ever-timely COVID scams, vaccine scams, stimulus payment scams, phone and email scams, and more. I hope this forum provides you with the tools you'll need to be able to protect yourself, your family, and your hard-earned assets from harm. During these challenging times, my office and I are here if you have any questions regarding COVID-19 related resources or other matters. Please submit questions into the chat box. Additionally, my district office is working remotely on your behalf, and we can be reached at 760-434-7605. Thanks you again for attending today's seminar. I hope you enjoy and learn some valuable tips on how to protect yourself and your family.
Assemblymember Boerner Horvath, thank you again. My name is Kevin Durway. I'm with the Contractor State License Board. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. I want to thank you for joining us today. We're talking to you seniors today because while you're often targeted by unlicensed contractors, in the COVID pandemic, there's still quite a lot of unlicensed activity that's going on. Many people are still doing home improvement projects because they're asking to spend more time at home. And with more people at home, there's a chance they're going to face more door-to-door scams and solicitors. Also, construction is still going on in the pandemic. Unfortunately, that also means some unlicensed activity. So why are seniors targeted by unlicensed contractors? The Assembly member mentioned this a little bit in her intro. Seniors are often vulnerable because they're trusting. Oftentimes, unlicensed contractors will try to warm them up and establish personal connections with them, all in an effort to take advantage of them. Here are some common scams involving contractors as they try to take advantage of seniors. Contractors will often ask for a large down payment on a construction project. The down payment must be 10% or $1,000, whatever's less. There's also a lot of door-to-door sales. An unlicensed contractor may knock on your door offering to do work at a discounted price. They may say they have leftover materials on their truck from doing another job in their neighborhood. And then they'll take a lot of money up front, and they'll leave the job unfinished or in poor quality. There's also high pressure sales tactics. A fast talking contractor may push you for an immediate decision about work, which that makes it very difficult for you to get the recommended 3 competitive bids, or check the contractor's license with CSLB, or the building permit requirements for a job, or to review the contractor's references. There's also scare tactics. A person will offer to perform a free inspection, then claim they'll find a serious problem like faulty wiring or bad plumbing or a leaky roof that will put you in danger. That can lead to unnecessary and overpriced work. We also want you to be very cautious of verbal agreements. The contractor may state that a written contract is not necessary and then does poor or shoddy work or no work at all. It's difficult to prove what was agreed upon verbally. So that's why we encourage you to make your plans in a written contract. Other reasons to get it in writing. Seniors may be promised one price and then the prices all of a sudden keep going up. Any changes to anything involving the project must be documented on the contract. That's called a change order. We also want to remind you never to pay a contractor in cash. One scam that's pretty common involves a contractor demanding cash up front, sometimes going so far to ask you to drive to the bank, to your ATM machine to withdraw funds. With money in hand, the person then abandons the project. We always ask you to pay by check and save copies of the check in a project file. So when do you need to hire a licensed contractor? If the cost of your job is $500 or more, labor and material, you must hire a licensed contractor in California. Now, you also want to hire a licensed contractor because you have more consumer protections if the contractor is licensed. By hiring a licensed contractor, you have more leverage if something goes wrong. If you can't get a problem settled with a licensed contractor, that's when CSLB can step in and help you with negotiation, mediation, and arbitration. These services are free of charge to consumers. All licensed contractors are required to pass trade and law exams and undergo background checks. CSLB licensed contractors are also required to hold $15,000 contractor bonds and have workers' compensation insurance for all employees. So to find a contractor, here's a good thing to start. Ask your friends and family if they have recommendations. Then when you get those recommendations, check the license of those recommendations on our website. You can also find contractors in your neighborhood by going to our website and using the Find My Licensed Contractor tool. You can just simply type in your zip code and choose the classification and you'll get a contractor in your area. So there's an example on our website. It's a big old tab that says Find My Licensed Contractor. Click on that and a window like this will pop up. You can just type in your city or zip code and then choose from that drop-down menu there what type of contractor you're looking for and then hit search. Then you'll get a list of licensed contractors in your area which you can download or print. Also, when you get those listings, you want to be looking to make sure that their workers' compensation coverage is intact. If the contractor has employees, it is required. You also want to make sure you're checking the classification. If you need a plumber, make sure the contractor has a plumbing license, as for an example. Now, when you meet the contractor for the first time in person, you want to ask to check their license. They should be carrying a pocket license. It looks like this. It's similar in size to a credit card. It'll be a laminated piece of plastic. And what you'll want to do there is you want to look at the name on the license and compare it with the photo ID. We'll ask you to do that is because contractors will steal other contractors' license numbers and claim they're working under someone else's license, which would make them an employee. But so you always want to check the name on the license card with the name on the picture ID. You also want to get 3 bids. Get at least 3 estimates in writing when you're looking at a project. Have someone with you when you're interviewing these contractors. Try to have a family member or a neighbor and take notes. Ask these contractors for references and check them. View photos of previous projects if possible. Ask the contractor about employees. If they have employees, they need workers' compensation. You should never feel pressure to make a decision. Tell the contractor that you're getting at least 3 bids. And don't ever sign an estimate. It is not a contract. You should not have to sign an estimate. The only thing you should be signing is a contract. We get that question a lot. Only the contractor who holds a license or a home improvement salesperson, HIS, can negotiate and sign a contract. Please be careful about signing any kind of electronic contract. It can be edited after you sign. We had a case where a couple ended up on the hook for hundreds and thousands of dollars in loans because an unlicensed contractor used a signature from a previous project that was taken off of a tablet and replicated that signature on loan documents, loan applications. So be careful about signing on electronic contracts. You must be given a written copy of the contract signed by you and the contractor before work begins. On that contract, make sure you're including things like down payment information. We already talked about this. The down payment can't be more than 10% or $1,000, whatever's less, okay? Again, you never want to pay in cash. Also on the contract, make sure the contract includes a progress payment schedule. That means you only want to give the contractor half the money when half the job is done. That makes sure that you never want the money to get ahead of the work, okay? The contract should also include any kind of subcontractors that the contractor is using, and material suppliers, so you can make sure that they've been paid. You also want the contractor to include start and completion dates of the project. Again, we talked about this briefly. Change orders should be in writing and they should be on the contract. They should both be signed. An example of a change order would be the contractor suddenly saying the concrete's going to cost $200 instead of $100, or the fencing. Also for contracts, you should know that you have a 5-day right to cancel. This is brand new in 2021, a brand new law. You get extra protection. Seniors age 65 and up get extra protection, and that protects you from solicitors trying to pressure you into projects. Also, you also want to make sure you're aware of building permits in your area. A construction or building permit is usually required and issued by the local building department. The contractor always should get the building permit. You want to verify this with your contractor. An example of a way that contractors may be trying to get you to acquire the permits, that might be a red flag that they're unlicensed. Oftentimes, building departments verify a contractor is licensed with CSLB before they issue a building permit. So the contractor is asking you to get a permit, pull the permit yourself. That could be a red flag that they're not really licensed. If you ever have any questions or problems, we encourage you to file a complaint. You can call us for a complaint form at the number on your screen, 1-800-321-2752. You can also go to our website, cslb.ca.gov, and click File a Complaint. You have 4 years from the date of your construction project to file a complaint. And there's an example of our website. You see a big old logo there, File a Complaint, if you need the complaint forms. Any other questions, again, feel free to call us, 1-800-321-CSLB or 2752. And I'd like to hand it off to my colleague, Jackie. I'll stop sharing. Pass it over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Assemblyman Boerner and her staff for inviting the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation to this Senior Scam Stopper today. I am going to share my screen. And let me introduce myself. My name is Jackie Wiley, and I'm one of the outreach coordinators with the department. I have been doing outreach probably for 19 plus years, traveling up and down Southern California to educate consumers and especially our seniors so that we can provide some tools and resources for you to look out for during this time, especially with the pandemic. There's a lot of pandemic inspired scams that have come up, and scams are always going to be around. I have here my email address. I am teleworking from home, so I don't have a phone number at this time, but if you have any questions or requests at the end of my presentation, please feel free to email me. Okay, so I want to just go ahead and get started. I'm not sure. I'm so used to being in front of an audience where I can see people raising their hands, because I always ask my audience, how many of you have ever even heard of us? We are previously the Department of Business Oversight. So what happened with the Department of Business Oversight? The governor signed the bill AB 1864 and AB 107 into law on September 25th. And what that law did was it created the new California Financial Protection Law. And that gave us the new name of the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. So again, I'm going to apologize in advance if I say Department of Business Oversight. I'm so used to saying that, and DFPI is what I'm going to use for the acronym because it's a mouthful. And what it also did was it gave the department some expanded authority to protect California consumers from financial fraud and the pandemic-inspired scams that we're all seeing and hearing about today. And I have to just say that scams are nothing new. And I'm going to tell you that they're always going to be around. There's always a scammer, a hacker, or a person who may not have our best interests at heart, especially us seniors, because Kevin said seniors are vulnerable, they're trusting. And you guys are supposed, have the nest egg. You have homes that are paid off, you're retired, you have money. So this is what they're looking for. So please, please, please do your homework and keep that in mind. The new law also created a division of consumer financial protection to supervise those financial services that we were not regulating at the time, which will now and has now come into effective January 1 of 2021. And I'm going to let you know what that is. So under the California Consumer Protection Law, the DFPI, we regulate state licensed financial institutions, products, and professionals, such as chartered banks and credit unions, financial lenders, residential mortgage lenders and servicers, the consumer and commercial loans, payday lenders, and escrow agents. Our department is divided. We have one unit that is our financial services division, which we license and regulate, like I said, the banks and the credit unions. If you own a home, I'm sure you're getting information or calls from your financial servicer, your lender. We license them. When you're buying a home or if you're refinancing, you have to deal with an escrow agent or escrow company. We license them. So we want you to call the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation to do your homework, to ask questions, to verify your information before you do business, and to get a full list of the licensees and the industries that we're regulating. You can go to our website. Now, earlier I spoke about the expanded oversight and the authority that was not previously regulated by our department. So we now have more power to protect California consumers from financial fraud and pandemic-inspired scams, which became effective January 1 of 2001. We are now overseeing the credit reporting agencies and the credit repair agencies, debt collectors, which we are currently taking complaints and already are getting a host of complaints from people receiving phone calls from debt collectors. So that law, and it becomes effective 2022. So what that means is that if you're a debt collector, you need to be licensed, and you will be regulated by our department now. We're also going to be licensing debt relief providers, credit repair agencies, and the consumer credit reporting agencies rent-to-own contracts. So these are the new industries that have fallen under the new consumer protection law for the Department of Financial Protection Innovation, which is a good thing. So we are heightening our consumer protection because that's our number one mission. So what is the role of the DFPI? The role is to effectively oversee financial service providers and professionals to promote financial technology innovation and, of course, to bring awareness to protect consumers from unfair, deceptive, abusive acts and practices. So how are we doing that? The department effectively enforces state financial laws, bringing against actions against entities that violate these laws. We will be determining whether a financial product requires licensing or registration, because in order to do business within the state of California, you either have to be licensed by us, which is the state agency, or on the federal level, which would be the Securities and Exchange Commission. So the department effectively will be determining whether financial products requires licensing or registration. And we will license financial service products and professionals, as well as examine these licensees to ensure that they are in compliance with state laws and that they are maintaining accurate records. And then we also investigate all the consumer complaints against our department licensees that come into our department with potential cases of unlicensed and fraudulent activity. Excuse me, when we register certain securities offered to California investors. So we are continuing to effectively oversee and to make sure that the professionals are abiding by the laws that we have set forth for them to do business here. So let's talk about some of the pandemic inspired and the common financial fraud and scams. And as you see, I've outlined some of those in red. Those are the ones that we are hearing about the most. Our consumer services unit have been super, super busy, especially since we have been sheltered at home and the pandemic inspired scams have come about more so than just a regular scam. Kevin was talking about what you need to do when you hire a contractor, but I wanted to just point out really quickly that um, people are home and they are doing a lot of home improvements. I myself have become a great DIYer and are doing home improvements myself. And I wanted to just mention that some of these contractors are mentioning the PACE program, which means Property Assessed Clean Energy Program. And what that is, it provides homeowners help to finance energy efficient and water saving improvements to their property. So for example, if I wanted to get brand new windows that are noise resistant, or if I wanted to get solar, if I wanted to get um, anything in it, energy efficient, I could go through the PACE program, but I'm here to let you know there have been a lot of problems with the PACE program, and it's really unfortunate that the cost of the project or repayment of the loan has been misrepresented. I always use this motto: the bad ones make it bad for the good ones. So it's becoming even more harder for us to know who to trust and what information to trust. And that's why I always say, do your homework, do your homework, do your homework. Verify your information before you get into any kind of agreement, excuse me, and understand what it is that you are signing, like Kevin said. So it's unfortunate that this program has been misrepresented and it's claiming no money down or no out-of-pocket costs. Everybody, including myself, loves no cost or no out-of-pocket expenses. We love free, but we also have to stop and think, what's really free? Is it really free? Who's going to be paying for this? So this is how it's been misrepresented. And it's giving the impression that all the services are free. But I have to let you know that the PACE program, the HERO programs, they are not free government programs. Homeowners must pay back the funding. And how are you paying back the funding? It is tacked onto your annual property taxes. So we have seen inappropriate use of the signatures. We have seen projects left incomplete and unpermitted. People have been coaxed into not applicable or not energy efficient upgrades. So if you are doing an energy efficient upgrade, why? Stop and think, why would you allow a contractor to coax you into getting new granite kitchen tops or getting new cabinets? That has nothing to do with energy efficient. So we have consumers who have fell victim to these tactics. So the Department of my department, Financial Protection and Innovation, we license these PACE program administrators, and they must be regulated in order to do business. The PACE administrators are expected to adhere to the law, but unfortunately, again, we have a lot of salespeople who have been known to leave out information when informing consumers. So like Kevin's side, they handle the contractors. If you are wanting to do the PACE program, you need to be knowledgeable about it. We have a host of information on our website pertaining to that in case you are interested. But again, it's not free, and you need to know that it will be tacked onto your property taxes. Okay. So now that that's out of the way, let's talk about some of the real deal scams that we are hearing about. Let's talk about the telephone. So who's calling? I always tell my audience, do you really know who is on the other end of the line? I've listed some of the scams: grandparent, the relative scam, the government imposter scams, offers of vaccines covered by Medicare, bank, mortgage servicer, credit card, charity scams, investment scams, and the list continues to grow, okay? Let's talk about the grandparent relative scam. Hi, Grandma, I'm in the hospital. Hi, I need money for a test. Hi, I need money for food. But the main one that we're hearing about is, hi, Grandma, it's me. It's me. My friends and I were riding around and we were going to Mexico and we got pulled over. I have the officer here standing next to me because he's telling me if I don't get $2,000 in right away, they're going to put me in jail. I'm going to put the officer on the line right now. Now that sounds very concerning. Of course, you're going to be fearful, but before you give up the name, you might say something like, "Hi, Jackie. Oh my gosh, what happened? Is that you?" Or, "Who is this? You sound different." Or, "Let me verify the information first." Um, my mother had gotten that phone call and they pretended to be her grandson, but they never called off the name. They kept saying, "Hi, grandma, it's me. You don't recognize my voice. It's me, though. I have an officer here and I'm in trouble. I need $2,000. And my mom just kept saying, "Who is this? Who is this?" But if she would have said, "Sam, is that you?" she would have given the name so that the caller would have been able to continue to with the scam, okay, with a known name. So we want to be careful about those calls that we get. You want to hang up. You want to verify whether the truth is that your relative person has actually been arrested or is in trouble. We're hearing also about government imposter scams. "Hi, my name is Jackie and I'm calling from the DWP and I'm in the delinquent section and it shows that your electricity is going to be cut off today by 5 o'clock. If you don't pay your bill, you're delinquent." So first of all, let's stop and think. If you're sitting at home and you have electricity and there's nothing wrong, that's a red flag sign. If and whenever you have doubt, you hang up and you don't call the number that has shown on your caller ID or left on your voicemail. You go and you get your bill and you call from that number and you verify whether there is a problem with your DWP bill or so have it. We have people calling from utility companies. We have people calling saying that they are government officials. And most of all, we all heard about that IRS scam. "Hi, I'm calling from the IRS and this or that, we need to know first and foremost that the IRS is never going to call you to ask you for a payment. You're going to first and foremost get something in writing. Social Security Administration is never going to call you. So when you receive that phone call saying that your card is frozen and that you need to report it right away, they're fishing for personal information. IRS, Social Security will never call you, okay? Your utility company, you're going to get something in the mail telling you that something is delinquent. So be cautious, look for red flag signs, and try not to panic as best you can. Hang up and verify the information again, not by using the number that you see on your viewer or left on your voicemail, but go and get a legitimate document that has the number. Now, we're also hearing about vaccines. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, that the vaccine is here and a lot of people have gotten it and a lot of people are waiting to get it. We're starting to hear calls with people saying, if you pay $100, I can bump you to the front of the line. You don't have to wait to get the vaccine. Just provide me this information. Maybe your Medicare number, your Medi-Cal number, a credit card number, and I can bump you to the front of the line. Don't fall for that. Any information that you want to know about the vaccine, please go to legitimate websites. We hear about it all day, every day from, if it's not the governor, it's the mayor, it's from Fauci, whoever, the CDC. Go to a legitimate website to get information and sign up that way. Your bank, mortgage servicer, and credit card companies. We're home, so technology has taken over. We're getting a lot of phone calls, offering financial relief. We want to be careful about that. We have to also stop and think that all relief is not good relief. So because you don't know who's calling. Remember, hello, who's calling? People are identifying themselves. They sound real. The offer sounds real, and it sounds really good. A lot of people are hurting for money, for food, for shelter, but to hear a person call you on the phone and offer you an opportunity to lower your credit card, to lower your payment, to stop paying something for a moment. Again, you don't really know who's calling, even if it says the name of the entity that you may be banking with, even if it says the name of the credit card company that you may have in your wallet. Don't always trust. Don't trust your incoming phone calls. Okay. Same thing with charities. A lot of devastation is going on. People want to help. We want to, and that's legitimate, but know who you're sending your money to. People are coming out of the woodworks about investing, and it's always an opportunity of a lifetime. But don't take too long to make a decision. If someone is pressuring you to make a decision right away, that's a red flag sign. The Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, we can help you with decisions on making financial choices. I want to talk about the stimulus. Is that what's up there, Kevin? The stimulus? Can you see that? Okay, it looks different. Okay. Financial relief package number 2 came out. Either you're going to have it direct deposit, you're going to get it mailed to you, receive it in the mail. But people have started also receiving the prepaid debit cards. And I have this particular document up, and I wanted to share it because I've been in 2 events and people shared that they received this envelope here. And it says, not a bill or an advertisement, important information about your economic impact payment. That is what that says in red. They actually thought that it was a scam. 2 people that I knew of threw it away because they didn't believe it. But it's not a scam. So if you receive the prepaid debit card, know that it is the second round of the stimulus that we just got, which was the $600, okay? And I also have to point out to the fact that my mom got the last stimulus last year, and it was direct deposit because we do our taxes e-file. So it was direct deposit, the stimulus. For some reason, this time she got this prepaid debit card. By her knowing what I do, and I shared it with her so that she can share it with her friends. So now I need to walk her through. My mom lives in New York and I live in California. She's 79 years old, but she has her faculties, but she gets very nervous about things because I'm always telling her to be careful about phone calls and things that she receives in the mail. Now she got this debit card, and our question was, why did you get the debit card instead of it going direct deposit like it did last time? So I inquired about that. The IRS has no control over how your stimulus is going to get to you. So just know that there are 3 options: direct deposit, via mail, which would be a check, or this prepaid debit card, okay? Let's talk about the mail. You've got mail. Over on the left, I have the postman putting mail inside a mailbox that opens up, and you probably have to put the flag up to say that you have mail. We want you to be mindful that there are people who are dumpster divers who are going around stealing people's mails. And of course, at first it was all about the EDD checks, which millions of dollars, and I feel horrible about that, for people, EDD money was stolen. So if you have a mailbox that is outside of your home, you have to walk down to go and get it. Please get it as soon as you see your mailman dropping it off. They are looking for personal information. Don't leave it in there. And I know that COVID has us staying at home as much as we possibly can, only going out for essential things. But if you can hand your mail that you are mailing out to your mailman, do so. Try not to put it in a mailbox where it's easy accessible, okay? Outside delivery boxes with these flags. So don't put it out there all day for someone to have the opportunity to come by and pick it up, and you thinking the mailman has done that. Packages. people are shopping online, getting food deliveries or what have you. When you know that your packages are coming, track them. Once you're tracking them, get them off of your porch as soon as you possibly can. Again, people are stealing packages. They're looking for any and everything that they can do to become me or you. Okay. I felt so bad for my mailman who is not even delivering mail now. He got all the mail in his truck and was ready to, do his rounds. He went to his first area and he comes back and the back of the truck was broken into. They didn't steal any of the mail. They stole all the packages. So we have to keep this in mind. Again, people are resorting to measures that can harm us in all kinds of ways. So we need to be doing our due diligence, okay, to protect ourselves. Let me back up about mail. Also, when you receive mail, are you shredding your unwanted mail? Are you tearing it up? I make it a habit of tearing off my name and my address on all my unwanted mail. And if I'm not taking out my shredder, I am tearing it, cutting it, putting it in separate trash cans. And if I don't put it in separate trash cans, I'm actually putting it in the trash, but then I might put coffee grounds or I might put water or something in there so that the information dissolves on there. We want to be mindful that when we put our trash out on the street for the trash people to pick it up, it's not only about the bottles and the cans. It's about dumpster diving and pulling out any kind of information that we can get. So keep that in mind also. And that goes for credit card applications, any kind of application that a person can pull out and become you. Okay. So phishing, I love this little picture because the phishing is with the PH, like he's using a network to get our personal information. Since the pandemic, millions are using online services for many things from shopping to banking to bill paying and even mail offers. So online services has become the thing. I have never been one to download apps and use them to check my bank, but I'm resulting to that nowadays because banks have been closed in the beginning. So again, we're limited. So what can we do to avoid becoming a victim of identity theft, and what should I look for in an email or a text? Let's talk about that. I put this up here so that people can see. When you get, how do you know if this is real? And I hope you can see it. This is a text message. And it says your Wells Fargo account has been suspended for suspicious activity. To restore, please visit. There's no protection here in this email, and this link right here has nothing to do with Wells Fargo. So I'm going to talk about how you need to hover over your URLs. The same thing with this email that came out. It says Bank of America, but the email makes no sense. And if you look through it, there's a host of mistakes in here. So please don't always jump to respond to an email that looks official because you bank at Bank of America, because you bank at Wells Fargo. So I want to just share some of the things that we need to practice doing. So for online services, you want to check your accounts online. Always remember to sign in and log out when you are done viewing your information. And for emails and text, especially for emails, you want to know that it's a secure site. How do you know that? It will either have a padlock on the right-hand corner to show that it's secure. But the most important thing, I want you to hover over this site where it says from. That's your URL. If it doesn't have an S, HTTPS, which means secure, you might want to proceed with caution or don't proceed at all because it's not a secure site. Okay, go to the site. You go to the site, not opening an ad before checking that URL again. Okay, again, bogus, bogus, bogus. Copycat sites are popping up. I always share this story and I want to share it really quick. An individual was shopping online and it was Amazon and she bought a whole bunch of stuff. And so when you shop online, of course, you're going to get the confirmation email to say that, you know, your order will be shipped and we'll let you know. So she got the email, then she got another email and it stated that there was a problem with the shipping and that she needed to re-enter all of her information. So that meant credit card information, all of that. She didn't notice that it was Amazon.con, C-O-N, instead of Amazon.com, C-O-M, which is the correct site. So it was a copycat, but she didn't pay attention and her personal information she put it out there. So please, please, please verify your information before you do anything. And I always talk about credit versus debt. Always use credit to avoid using your PIN number. We are not wanting to really touch money now. The people at the takeout places are not really wanting to touch money. A lot of places that I go to, they prefer that you use your debit card, okay? So when I'm using my debit card, I say credit so that I do not have to punch in my PIN number. That's another way to eliminate your card being compromised, okay? So credit versus debit. When you do debit, you have to punch in your PIN. And to bypass that, you press the X and then you'll do credit and you don't have to do that. I'm going to also suggest this. When you're doing something online, especially when it was holiday time, instead of using your personal or your credit card that has that big limit on there or your bank card to do anything online, maybe you should get a prepaid Visa and load that. God forbid that your information gets hacked or someone gets into your account. It will be a nightmare. It has happened to me, so that is another protection. Monitoring your credit. We all should know that you can place a freeze on your credit and it decreases identity theft and obtaining credit in your name, okay? Before the law came out, I want to say maybe a few years ago, you had to be a certain age in order to do that. You can also request your credit reports from all 3 credit bureaus. And if you are like me, you can stagger that. You can request it from Experian in the month of February, wait 3 months and do Equifax, wait 3 months and do TransUnion. So you're constantly monitoring it. And I also want the fact that when you put a credit freeze on there, it does not freeze your current credit. This is so that there's no new credit obtained in your name, okay? Well, let's just be diligent in checking our statements every single month. So protecting yourself from fraud, you got the telephone, internet, email, text messages, and mail. I'm just going to sum it up by saying this. If you didn't make the call, create the email, or not sure of the website, please proceed with caution. You don't really know who it is, okay? The Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, we always pride, and I always say knowledge is power. For events such as this one, the things that I'm telling you, you may not have even heard about it before. I'm part of a wonderful unit, the Education and Outreach Unit. We have great publications, educational resources on our website. This is one of the publications that I would normally be giving out should I have been in person, but it is still available. If the Assemblyman staff would like a box where you can get it from there, I'd be happy to send it. We have it in English and we have it in Spanish and we have it in Chinese. Like I said, our name is new. It just became effective at the end of September. So we are in the process of updating all of our materials, but it's still available and it has a host of information in here. One of the things that it does provide, it provides a resource guide. Sometimes we don't know who to call, where to call, what number to call, what agency to call pertaining to the situation or the question. You can always call our department. We do have a toll-free number, and I will provide that to you at the end. So in that booklet, it has a breakdown of the agency, the responsibility, as well as the toll-free numbers that you can call. So if you need to make a financial decision, let us help you. Before you make a financial decision, I've been saying it throughout this whole presentation, do your homework, do your homework, do your homework. If you have a question because you are unclear or you are unsure, if you have been scammed or have become a victim of a fraud, call our consumer service office. Our toll-free number is here. It's 1-866-275-2677. And if you're thinking about doing business, whether it's getting a payday loan, we have brochures about that, which is not a very good thing to do. But if you're thinking about doing business, investing, or working with a financial servicer, our toll-free number is here, and our consumer service representatives can help verify the license of an entity or professional. We can check against any actions taken by our department. We want you to consider all your options, compare the product to others, start consulting, ask someone that you trust when you are in doubt. Avoid making decisions when you are emotional. This pandemic has placed so much fear on us. It distorts our thinking. So wait 24 hours before you finalize anything. Lastly, I just want to say fraud and scam prevention. 1, trust your instincts. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And never give out personal information unless you initiated the contact. And please, 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 instead of entertaining that opportunity from a call that you received to help you lower a monthly payment or help you do something, always go to the source yourself, okay? Ask for relief, go to the source yourself. And finally, the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, we want you to contact us. Please call our toll-free number, again, 866-275-2677. If you have a question, if you're interested in our brochures, if you need to go on our website, we have a host of information about COVID, just a lot of things. Here's our website right here. And we are also would like you to follow us. We are on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So thank you again for letting me share and be a part of this event today. Any questions?
So at this time, we haven't had any questions, but if anyone does have any questions prior to finishing up our presentation today, please feel free to put them in the chat now. And Kevin, I do have a question for you. Where can we find the information that you presented on? Is it just located on your website?
cslb.ca.gov. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Oh.
cslb.ca.gov. And you also want to, we have a place under resources, what seniors need to know before hiring a contractor. A lot of the information is on there. And I also wanted to reemphasize, you know, Jackie brought up a lot of good points. You know, if you that goes for a lot of the contractors that are approaching you. You know, if you didn't call a contractor to do work for you, be cautious of the contractors coming to your door and promising you extra, you know, they have extra materials and they can redo your fence for a cheaper price. Just and call and get your 3 bids. Always make sure. I had a neighbor across the street. They were putting in a brand new fence. They heard about getting 3 bids. One bid was $600, one bid was $800, and one bid was $1,000. So see the difference in the 3 bids. One may be a different kind of wood. One may have availability. Start work tomorrow, and then post the other ones that are down the line months away. So it's always important to get your 3 bids too when you're starting a construction project.
All right, thank you very much. Well, it doesn't look like we have any questions. I'm trying to see if you can see our chat, but I just want to thank you all for coming today. This was very informative. And then I'll be following up with you, Jackie, for some of your booklets. And then if the public would like, please check out their websites. And if you have any questions, please reach out to our office as well. We're happy to follow up with you and connect you with this information.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.